Hi everyone, welcome to this first video in this tutorial series, Natural Language Processing for Everyone. This course is for everyone, whether someone has any knowledge about natural language processing or not. We're going to cover the very basics about natural language processing until we reach advanced topics. So natural language, we can distinguish natural language from other forms of artificial languages, or such as programming languages, which are designed to communicate with computers. Natural language is this language that we use as humans to communicate with each other. In natural language processing, we teach computers to understand this form of language that we use as humans. So we can look at it as if we're teaching computers how to read and write and make sense of textual data. So natural language, we don't focus on speech, but we mainly focus on textual data, that is written material. For this introduction, we'll keep it brief about natural language, and in the next videos we'll look at how exactly we teach computers how to understand natural language. It's a very exciting topic, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy the topic. So let's look at some of the applications of natural language processing. So one of them is sentiment analysis. So an example is where you have reviews, for example, on Amazon, and want a computer to judge whether a review is positive or negative. So this is termed as sentiment analysis, because the computer has to uncover the sentiment behind a certain review. A second form of application of natural language processing is in translation. For example, translating from English to French, or from English to Yoruba, or from Yoruba to Zulu, or from Zulu to Tonga, or from Tonga to Bemba. This form of translation using machines where you don't involve humans. The third application is question answering, where you give a computer a question and it gives you an answer. So you could ask any question about anything, about any data that you have, and the computer gives you an answer about that data. And another application that should be familiar with most people is chatbots or dialogue system, where you interact with a computer. You send your messages and the computer responds depending on how you phrased your previous message, whether it was a question and so on. And another one is spelling correction. So this should be familiar with most people. You make a mistake with your text, and the computer corrects you that probably you meant something like this. This is not an exhaustive list of applications, but just to give a few examples of natural language processing applications. This course has no prerequisites. Whether you know programming or you don't know programming, you are welcome. I'm going to go through each and every step on how to do everything. So in the next slide, you're going to see how we're going to cover natural language processing in this course. So whether you have any experience or without experience, whether you have no idea, you're completely lost, you don't even know what I'm saying, you're welcome. I promise you're going to, by the end of the course, you're going to understand everything, and you'll be able to program your own computer to do one of these things that whichever you are more interested in. We'll have a number of projects, both in programming and also in natural language processing. And this will build your skills and give you a strong foundation, because it's through practice that we learn. And I'll explain everything as easy as possible so that everyone can follow, no one will be left behind. So this is how we're going to cover the topics. We'll start with foundation. So this will just build a foundation for this tutorial series so that everyone can be able to follow the following chapters on natural language processing. If you're already familiar with these topics, you can skip all these videos, go straight to the next part. So part 1 in the foundation, we'll start with Python programming. So here we're going to dive deeper into modern Python now, explain everything about Python. This is the language that we're going to use for programming. And it's the language that's widely used in artificial intelligence. Most of the deep learning libraries are designed to work with Python. So most of the code that you find out there will be written in Python. And the second chapter will look at deep learning for natural language processing. Don't worry if you don't understand what deep learning is. I'll explain it and you understand, and how we use it in natural language processing. And the deep learning library that we're going to use for all our problems here, we're going to use Pytorch. So before we actually go into the actual NLP, we also look at Pytorch so that we understand how to actually do this deep learning in natural language processing. And that will be about the foundation. So we'll start with static embeddings, then we'll move to contextual embeddings. I'll explain everything when we get there. For now, you can just keep in mind that we're going to do these things. And we are also going to go to recurrent neural networks, LSTMs, GRIUs, convolutional neural networks. And then the final part we're going to do, we'll start with attention mechanism and transformers. So these are like the most popular models now. After LSTMs, now we have transformer models. These are like the recent state-of-the-art models that are widely being used and even being deployed. So both in natural language processing and also when it comes to vision, that is computer vision. So in the next video, we'll go straight into Python. We'll do the installation of Python and everything and do symbol syntax, and then we'll move on from there. Thank you.